All right, balls, balls. Up. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Those. Can you hold the balls for them? There we go. Nice. Nice. All right. So, quick little reviews. I'll take it. All right. Here we go. So this is, sorry about my screen. I refuse to get a new one. Oh, that was nice. Okay, here's my cell, right? I bought this thing on kind of a whim, and it's like my new favorite thing. This like little magnetic cell. It makes me happy when I see it. I think it was made for like elementary schools or something. Like, does this seem like a middle school thing? But I love it. I love it. It's so nice. Just all right. So I added something to the cell, right? I added this little hairsies. Okay, if this is a nerve cell, what are those hairsies called? Dendrites, right? Those are dendrites. This is my cell body. I've got my nucleus. That's the brain of the cell, right? That's where the DNA is. What are these little guys? These are so important. There's a mitochondria. They're the sausages, right? And the sausages are so important because they're going to take the sugar that we just ate at lunch and convert it into energy. And that energy is in the form of what? ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine is a part of like adenine, so it is one of those nucleic nitrogenous bases, right? So one of those macromolecules. So chomp. If you remember back from bio days, and I don't know if AP Bio has been talking about macromolecules lately. Yes, no? Okay, maybe not yet. Okay, you will get back to that. Cell resp, have you done cell resp yet? Like glycolysis and stuff. No. Okay, so I have to eat that food, okay, so I can take the mitochondria, right, and so I can open this door, right, and there's doors every bit along your nerves, okay, so there's like doors. Yesterday, we determined that the nerve itself, and when we'll do a, not physically us, but we'll watch an autopsy, and I'll show you what you can like pick the nerves out. Like I could cut your arm open and find a nerve and show you, here's your nerve. Okay, like, okay, but that looks more like a muscle. Okay, remember our bag was a muscle, and then we had a fascicle, and then we had a muscle fiber, right? Then we had a myofilaments, right? Those axons are like the myosin and actin, right? So one long axon. So essentially, yo.
Hi, can I have the medium?
Yeah, it is in there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, you may have to refill it. Sorry. Okay, so this is my sinus, right? Okay, my brain and my central nervous system and my spinal cord. Got my penis off to the side, right? And right now, all of your anuses are working really well because nobody's dead, everybody's breathing, everybody's heart's beating. So thank your anus right now for that. I can't wait to get observed. I'm going for it. I'm just going to say it all, right? Okay, so this is a frontal. This is a parietal, this is the occipital, this is the here to the side. Okay, so there's my nerve cell. Okay, what's the name of the gap in between? Synapse, right? Okay, so you all in the back are going to throw your ball, okay, to the next nerve. So Kaysen, Owen, Addison, they're the next nerve. Here's your nerve, here's their nerve. You've got to throw the ball to get that going. The only way to throw that ball, remember, is to, and let me go back here like this. Okay, and show this screen like this, and then turn this around like this. And this is new for me this year, is the pump and jump. You're the pumpers, I'm the jumpers, right? So when I look at, I'm going to flip this around again. So the white part is inside the cell. Okay, so inside the cell and then outside the cell. You can't see my hand, so now I'm going to go in. Okay, what's this right hand? You remember? This is potassium. This one that's on the outside is sodium, right? So when I pump and jump, I'm going to switch them, right? So my inside is going outside, my outside's going inside, and that creates a concentration gradient, and that causes me to jump. Okay, online folks, if you're not getting that, let me know. Okay, so get ready. You guys are gonna pump, you're gonna pump, and then once I get to you, calcium, right? Calcium is what's gonna cause that neurotransmitter to move. Okay, y'all ready? Okay, pump, pump, pump. Calcium. Oh, oh. I love the fact that everybody can. All right. Okay. Did you see the balls flying back there, kiddies? Did you see? Did you see the balls? I don't know what.
Yes, we saw. I saw at least.
This is in my mind here. All right, good. I'm glad you saw it. I blame the man bun. I blame the man bun. Okay. So that's how nerve moves. So when I'm looking at all this brain stuff here, my central nervous system, okay, everybody's like, are those just all neurons? You know, is that all neurons? No. Okay, here's the new information. If you want to write a few things down, you can, you don't have to. Again, so somebody in my other class said, can we please have this PowerPoint? They're like, I like your examples, but I need to read this stuff too. I'm like, yeah. So I put it out there today. Okay, it's on the classroom. Okay, but I want you to make sure you're understanding my examples. Okay, y'all with me on this? Okay, so this is kind of a sore subject with me a little bit, because this is how my dad died. Okay, so my dad died when he was 68 in 2006. Summer 06, like it was like I told all my friends, I'm like, this is going to be the best summer of our lives, right? And we made shirts 2006, and it ended up being like summer 0 sucks because my dad like just went downhill. I'm telling you, like brain cancer, not like I pray that nobody in here gets it because it's like one of those things that it's hard to get rid of. Elizabeth Schilling right now, she has what's called an astrocytoma. Okay, she is, I don't know if you know her, her mom's Heather Schilling. She works at the college. She also has a brother, Lucas. Brian Schilling's her dad. Anyway, she lives in Ohio and she's fighting and things are going good with all considered. My dad's was a little bit different, okay, than that. And he was also older. Okay, so anyway, so you've got these, you can get, by the way, tons of different brain tumors. In fact, I know somebody, and you know this person too, I can't tell you names yet because it's all good, and maybe someday this person will allow me to tell you. Okay, but this person has a brain tumor that now they have a treatment for this, and this person's fine. Okay, I mean, the bit is shrunk and no surgery needed. Now I know somebody else with the same brain tumor that it ended up like they had to go in and cut it out. Okay, so and that was in the pituitary gland. Okay, really amazing they could do that. When they looked at my dad, he actually had a stroke, and so my mom actually thought it was joking because he fell on the floor. He's like, and she's like, shut up, what are you doing? And then she's like, oh crap, something's bad. So they were able to get him a drug called TPA, and that thinned his blood to the point where it was allowing blood to go back to his brain. So it was fine. But then, of course, then they did CAT scans and MRIs and all those things and found 3 tumors in his brain. One in the pituitary gland, one in the surrounding brain membrane called the meningioma. That's the type of tumors in the meninges. And they said, get this, they said it was a walnut-sized tumor that was probably there since he was 12 years old. Okay, but it didn't affect his life and it wouldn't have killed him. Okay, but what killed him was this glioblastoma, the one in the surrounding tissue. So we have all these nerves. Okay, so but how do they function, right? We need help. Nerves need help just like other cells need help. Okay, so here they are, and I want you to say them after me because they're kind of weird. Okay, so let's try this together. Astrocyte, okay. Microglial, ependymal. Okay. This is a biggie. Oligodendrocyte. Perfect. Satellite cells. Schwann cells. The Schwann cells, yeah. Quit looking at me, Schwann. Now, the Schwann cells actually remind me of the Schwann man. Okay, do you guys know the Schwann man? Okay, so it's really weird because like as I told the story in the past, there's either like a camp that have like literally never heard of this person before, and then other people are like, oh yeah, Schwann man like comes in our house all the time. Okay, so I was dating this girl, Shelly Dettelson in high school. Yeah, sure. And Shelly and I were at her house one time when I was in high school. her parents went somewhere, and we were watching TV. Okay, all right. So we were watching TV, and all of a sudden I felt a presence, and it was the Schwan Man. The Schwan Man had come inside the house and said, "Hey, you guys want some ice cream? You guys want some pizza?" I was like, "Shelly, who's this guy?" She's like, "That's the Schwan Man. He just comes in our house. He looks in our freezer. He determines what we need, and then gives you." This guy drives around a yellow truck with like freezers in the back, right? And I've never like, so now that I told you, this is what always happened. He's like, never heard of this person before. And then they're like, usually like the next day or 2 days later, like, this is Ruth, you're never gonna believe this. I was driving through town. I saw the Schwan Man, right? Okay. I've never seen a Schwan woman. So it's a man. Okay. And Hannah's aunt and uncle, they live in this little town in Kansas. It's called Porras, Kansas. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. And get this, the nearest Walmart is 2 hours away. They have a very small convenience grocery store. They get most of their meat and frozen goods from the Schwan. Okay, that's literally, he comes to our house. If they leave the door open for him, he just goes in. And he's got this, like, now it's much smaller, but back in the day, like 86, 87, right? They had this like giant like thing that like he ordered stuff on, right? It was like this remote control thing, right? It's still pretty big. You ever see like the FedEx guy or the Mammoth? Yeah, they're like smaller, but back in the day they were big. So I always had this theory though, like Schwan Man, he's creepy. Okay, he's just coming in your house, he's looking in your fridge. Like, what's keeping him from just walking around your house? Like big screen TV. Okay, right? This is not true. Someone earlier today said, "Oh yeah, he just comes in our house too." They said he also just comes in and like sometimes he'll sit. They're like, my grandpa will talk to him for like 4 hours. Like, doesn't this guy have a job? Like, no, I sit down and have coffee and drink.
No. My grandma he just knocks on the door and she doesn't answer or she didn't.
Maybe they've gotten permission at some point, but like some Schwan. You looked it up just now? Did you think I was lying to you?
This whole time I thought you were
No, it's real. I guarantee you are going to see the truck in our town sometime in the next week. It's a yellow truck with like freezers in the back. Oh, not all the time, man. I'm telling you, you look out for the Schwan Man. Okay. Yes. 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 That's the guy. He brings you frozen foods and stuff. Okay. Schwan Man. Look out for the Schwan Man. Okay. He totally harshed my mellow when we were watching TV. I don't know. You should ask your mom. Find out. They're pushy. Anyway, okay, so these are the cells. Okay, let's look at like what they do. Okay, so there's some of the C and some of the P. Here's the astrocytes. They're really cool. Here's a picture real quick. And I'll go back to that. Here's the nucleus, right? Here's the dendrites. Okay, here's the axon. Okay, and here's your blood cell. Okay, remember my mitochondria need food to make ATP, right? How do you get the food? In the blood, right? Okay, I eat the food. Okay, it gets churned up in my stomach. It goes to my small intestine, gets absorbed by the bloodstream. Okay, that bloodstream, these cells can send that material to this. So astrocytes, incredibly important. They help support and brace the neurons. They anchor them. I love this. They guide the migration of the young neurons. So the new neurons, they say, like, this is what you should do. Hang out. They also mop up leaky potassium ions. So let's say we're pumping and like one of those little potassiums like trying to get away. Hey, thanks. Birthday girl. All right. They also recycle neurotransmitters. Remember, these balls are really important. Okay, but we're not making new balls. Okay. It's not like you're born with the number of balls, but like, oh God. Okay, but like these, so this love and hate and all these hormones in here, okay, they have to be recycled. This is why we sleep. Okay, when we sleep, and some people think this is a part of our dreams too, that those neurotransmitters get recycled in our brain and our body. Okay, it's really cool. And we don't even know a lot of the stuff that's happening. If you don't sleep, you're dead. You know this, right? Okay, there's a genetic disease. I need to ask Lorenzo. Remind me to ask Lorenzo tomorrow during apes. There's this rare family in Italy, they can't sleep. And once they get to a certain age, they die. Okay. And it's not always like it just kicks in. I've seen videos of this guy like literally going crazy because he can't sleep. Your brain needs sleep or you will die. Like you'll start hallucinating. You want to hallucinate and don't do drugs and just don't sleep for like 72 hours. Okay. Yeah. JK. All right. But don't do it. Okay. All right. So, okay. Also helps with inflammation as well. All right. There's what astrocytes look like. Here's the ependymal cells. Okay. They circulate cerebrospinal fluid. So you all know that there's fluid around the brain, but also around your spinal column. If you get an epidural, they will put a needle into not your spinal cord, but that cerebrospinal fluid to put a nerve block, into your legs. Okay, now listen, ladies, if you get this, so like my wife, so I'll tell you, they ask you to bend over on the side of the bed and bend over like this. Then they go in through your L3, L4, okay, and they go and the needle is like this. It's giant. If you've not seen the needle, you've seen it. I'm not making this up, right? Okay, yeah, it's big. Okay, so they go in. So I was fine, like thinking about childbirth, right? As soon as I was like starting to feel woozy. Okay, so I sat down, I'm watching Hannah. This is when Ira was born. And when they said, don't move or you could be paralyzed for life. Okay, next thing I know, I'm like holding an orange juice in my hand. And I like look up and Hannah's like back in bed. I was like, what's going on? They're like, oh yeah, he passed out. I was like, it was the needle and the thought of like taking care of a paralyzed wife and a new baby. I was like, that was enough to like send me like straight to La La Land, right? Okay, but I'm not kidding, man. They're not messing around with the cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, these cells help move that stuff around, right? You don't want it to pool. These cilia are great. Now they're made up of columnar cells and squamous cells. I think these look more like cuboidal cells. I don't know if it's just the drawing here, but I just noticed that today. I was like, that doesn't look columnar to me at all. Okay, microglial cells. These are the phagocytes of the brain. Okay, what are phagocytes? Those are the cells, like let's say here we got COVID. Okay, this is a little COVID. Ooh, how are we going to get rid of COVID? I'm going to have a macrophage. It's going to come over here and it's going to eat it and then destroy it. Okay, we need to destroy bad stuff in the brain, like things that come in unwanted, like students, like Erica. I do. Thank you for that. Was great timing. I have just this one though. It's a one-hole punch. Is that what you want? Yeah. Do you need it for what? I'm getting back. All right. Okay, y'all with me? That's microglial cells. And then the last one, this one's really cool. Okay, now if you took my freshman bio class, which some of you did, I may have shown you, and I think I did, a movie called Lorenzo's Oil. Okay, remember Lorenzo's Oil? Okay, now Lorenzo's Oil, we're gonna watch the trailer. It's the dumbest trailer I think I've ever seen in my life, but basically it tells you the whole movie. It has something to do with these cells called oligodendrocytes. So let's watch this trailer real quick, and then let's talk about Lorenzo. How many people have seen Lorenzo's Oil? What? Just you? Did I show you your class too? I showed you your class, right?
I wasn't in this class. I was in
How did you watch this?
Yeah, I don't remember. I've seen it before. Isn't it about that kid who gets like paralyzed and then gets better or something?
Well, yeah, he's got like a rare genetic disease, Nick Nolte. Okay, yeah. Watch this and see if this is if this is the one. This trailer's so weird. It's so weird. It's super sad. I cry every year. Like no joke. No cap.
Oh, yep. I've seen it.
This is the weirdest trailer ever.
Sometimes I wonder if people realize how incredible you truly are.
All right, so true story. So here's the quick rundown on Lorenzo. So he was this normal kid, and then he started like having trouble walking and talking, and loud sounds like got to him. Yeah, kids. Right. It's like totally not him at all. Well, it ends up that this stuff around his nerves starts disintegrating. It's a genetic disease. It's on the X chromosome. Quick little bio one reminder. We got XX, you're a female, XY, you're a male. If you have the Y, it doesn't really affect the X. So you've got, if you have a trait that's recessive and it's on the X chromosome and you don't have something to override that, a dominant trait, then you'll get whatever you got. So women who are typically not colorblind, because that's also an X-linked trait, and they're typically not always, this is not always, like the dominant trait overrides the recessive trait. Do you guys remember this kind of like from Punnett squares and that sort of thing? So there's nothing really on the Y chromosome other than the male stuff, right? So he got the disease from his mom, and I like to think about it as like a iPhone cord, or like a phone cord that's like frayed at the end. You ever have these and then you try to I try to balance it. Like, okay, if I balance it on this book and then I wiggle it, then maybe it will charge, and then you find that sweet spot and then eventually it stops. So you got to throw it away, right? Okay. So in Lorenzo's case, what was crazy is he could hear everything. He could see everything. So he went from age 6 to age 15, trapped in this body and not able to do anything about it. Well, his dad was like, I'm not going to just sit back. Everyone at this point, was like, you're going to die. Okay, sorry. This is the way it is. His dad was like, no, it's not going to happen. So he did all this research, found out it was all about this, this protein. And he determined that if you take this oil, okay, and start drinking it at a very young age, I'm giving you the short version here, then you won't develop the disease. It will keep the myelin. So now there's this whole group of boys who don't have the disease. They still have the gene, but their myelin is still there. Y'all with me on this? Lorenzo's dead now. He ended up aspirating. Dad died. Mom died. Okay, what's that? He made it to his 31st birthday. Yeah, so these are oligodendrocytes. They produce the myelin that insulates the nerve so that things work well. Okay, y'all with me on that? No myelin, no moving. Okay, Schwann cells and satellite cells are very similar to astrocytes and oligodendrocytes. Schwann cells, this is peripheral. They help with the myelin sheet. Satellite cells are going to support it like astrocytes. Okay, now I'm going to go back to this slide real quickly. So I've been moving around a lot, but hey, that's the way it goes. Okay, we talked about the frontal lobe. We know that that's where the motor area is. Okay, we know that this is the sensory area. If you've ever fallen on your back of your head or gotten concussed, you see stars, right? Okay, that's because all the visual stuff is in the occipital lobe. Okay, and that's really all you want to say about that lobe. Okay, so let's switch to the temporal lobe, which is really crazy. I'm going to show you 2 videos. Okay, these 2 videos are of people with injuries to that area of the brain, and we're talking about speech and hearing. Okay, I want to know if there's anyone in this room who's experienced someone, either Peabody or Timcrest, with one of these conditions. We're going to start with, hopefully, here we go. Something called Wernicke's aphasia. Come on. And I want to ask you some questions about this woman.
Thanks. 6. And say baseball player, baseball player, okay.
Okay, she said, say baseball player. Did she say baseball player? No, but what did she say? Babe Ruth. What? Yeah, she knew what she's talking about, right? Because Babe Ruth is what? A baseball player, right? Very famous baseball player. Let's watch a little bit more.
Caterpillar, cantaloupe. Okay. All right, I'd like for you to do some things now with your mouth. First thing I'd like for you to do is stick out your tongue. Stick your tongue.
Whoa.
Show me how you would kiss. Show me how you love to kiss me. That's good. Show me how you sip on a straw. Can you sip on a straw? See what a sip sticks. See what a sip sticks into me. Okay, try this one. See, wait a minute. Listen. Show me how you smile. Show you how to plus me. Show how to plus me. Show how to plus me. Show how to plus me. Stop. Can you smile? Can you smile at me? Now don't smile at me. Don't say what I say. I want you to do this. Watch. What? Look at me. Smile. There you go. That was a very good one. Huh? Smile. Smile. Oh, there you go. Chew. Show me how you chew gum. Chew. Like. Okay, watch this. Good. All right. Cough. 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 Or you cough me. Cough. There you go. I want you to lick your lips. Let me lick your.
All right, well, okay, so I guess it is. I've been showing this for years. Finally, this happened last year. I almost expected it. I'm at my house. I'm dreaming. It's the middle of the night. It's a nightmare. I'm in a house. It's black and white. Okay, like my dreams in black and white. I'm in this house I've never been in before. Okay, I'm walking up these old creepy stairs, and there's a door at the top of the stairs. Okay, I open up the door, and it's this woman, and she's like, lick me, lick me. I woke up and I'm like, no! Let's watch that again in case you missed it. Here we go.
I want you to lick your lips. Let me lick your.
All right. Okay. Do you think she's understanding things? It's not like she's like, I don't get what you're saying. It's like she can't say. It's almost like word vomit, right?
Yeah.
It's just like she's just spewing out stuff.
Like obviously she's processing what she's saying. She's able to say it back.
Yeah, I forgot to tell the other classes, but I truly believe this woman was a bird watcher at one point in her life, because there is a bird called the black-throated green warbler. Okay, and it's a really cool bird. It does come around here for like maybe a few days, and it takes off. But birders, when they see a bird, and they will try to like listen for its call, and they have like little mnemonics or little ways to remember it. Like the barred owl says, "Who cooks for you?" and its real voice is like, "Hoo, hoo, hoo, hoo." Okay, but you're like, "Who cooks for you?" That's how you describe it to someone, right? Okay, there's that. The black-throated green warbler says z z z zoo z. Okay, and when you hear it in the wild, it really does sound like z z z zoo z, right? And when she's talking, she says, when she's talking about sipping on a straw, she says that. I always wondered, like, I wish I could go back in time and ask this woman if, like, before her brain injury, did she watch birds, or, was that something she talked about? Listen to that again.
Caterpillar, cantaloupe. Okay. All right. I'd like for you to do some things now with your mouth. First thing I'd like for you to do is stick out your tongue. Stick your tongue. Show me how you would kiss. Show me how you love to kiss me. That's good. Show me how you sip on a straw.
I don't know. Maybe it's a stretch. Okay. Here's this next guy. Tell me what's wrong with this guy.
Now tell me what this thing was with your legs last week or week before.
No good. page. And
This was hard for me to watch because when I watch it, I'm like, come on, dude, you got this. Come on.
There's a resident like this at the bottom and it gets so annoying.
Brain injury. I don't know if you can ever find out that kind of stuff. I would be interested if that.
knees
Yeah, I don't know if I can or not.
Right, I know you can. HIPAA.
and ankles.
So you think this guy understands it? Right? Something's wrong, right? But he can't get it out, right? It's like, do you think he can't think of the words or that he can't just get it out?
He can't get it out.
Okay.
Like he wants to say it, but like
Yeah.
he doesn't have.
Right, can you imagine that frustration?
I used to have, my mom used to have a resident, and me and like the resident would just sit there and talk, and like, I don't know why, but she like wanted me, and I was like, I don't know how to do it, but yeah, it was,
But that's how it was, huh?
yeah.